I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're speaking with a wonderful author. Her name is T.E. Goddard. She is the versatile creative talent behind Rollercoaster, Rollercoaster Book 2, Jake Returns, and Boris Adventures, Disneyland Paris. She draws inspiration from a nomadic upbringing and a diverse range of experiences. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to this channel and by buying these wonderful books. Natasha, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
So where do we begin? Rollercoaster Book 2, or Jake Returns? That's Jake Returns or Boris Adventures. Rollercoaster, I think, is your first book, correct?
Yeah, Rollercoaster was my first book. Yeah.
So let's give the folks at home an overview about that. What's Rollercoaster about?
So Rollercoaster is about a little boy who grows up in New York. He lives with his nanny, but to him, since he's such a young boy, he believes that Sarah's his mum. He doesn't see his real parents as they're more work-focused and family-focused. And he has to do the change between not going to school and just having one little friend to having a classroom full of friends. But before they even get to school, they already have disasters happening in the mall. And both him and his little friend have to deal with those challenges and disobey orders that he was just given.
Exactly. I notice a recurring theme, at least in your book titles, a roller coaster, of course, and then Disneyland Paris. Tell us a little bit about your love of roller coasters and amusement parks and the imagery and what they represent.
So roller coaster originally wasn't actually for roller coaster itself. It's more like roller coaster of life, how things change. You have your ups and downs, but you can still, you can make it as your own. Whereas Disneyland Paris, after releasing my first book, Rollercoaster, I booked a trip internationally, and it was my first international trip by myself. And we happened to have gone to Disneyland in Paris, and I did have a little polar bear named Boris. So it's the point of view of his experience meeting Pluto and things like that. Unfortunately, he decided to go on his own adventures last year. So I no longer have Boris, but his story is still out there.
Wonderful. And if somebody were to come to you and say, let's make one of your books a movie, which one would you choose and why?
Definitely Rollercoaster. Just because Rollercoaster is so relatable to everybody around the world. As today's world of family is not just a mum and a dad. You can have step parents, you can have a mum and a mum, a dad and a dad, grandparents, foster parents, things like that. So I believe Rollercoaster to be more relatable. Saying that, I have turned my next book into a movie, and I've just finished shooting it.
Wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. Tell me a little bit about Rollercoaster and its sequels. What motivated you to write about a child growing up with a nanny? And why do you think these stories will relate to or connect with readers?
Well, I don't have anything to do with my biological mother anymore. And when Rollercoaster was originally written, I went through a bit of a trauma. And I wasn't sleeping at night. So a close friend of mine, who I now call family, she said, if you're not going to do something, like if you're not going to sleep, do something productive. And I thought, looking back now, maybe it was to study or something, but I ended up writing instead. And the bond between Sam and Sarah is the bond that's quite similar to hers and my relationship. So I think that's quite unique in that sense.
Wonderful. Now, you're more than just a writer, you're also a filmmaker. Graveyard is a project you recently completed filming. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so Graveyard is going to be one of my next books released, but I have managed to do the screenplay for it, and I've just finished directing it. I am also in it as Hannah. So I've kind of moved around the screen a bit. So between filming it and then also being in it. It's about a family who loses their mum to cancer. And then the dad now has to juggle between being a lawyer and then looking after his 3 kids. And all of the kids have extra activities that they do. One does dance, theatre, and then football. So he has to now juggle his time. And I think it's relatable because, you know, so many people have had cancer, survived it, lost their battle to it, and still fighting it. So I think it's relatable to everybody today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're the busiest woman in show business, that's for sure. Another project you're working on is Adventure All-Stars. Can you tell us a little bit about this and what the adventures are all about?
Yeah, so I've been officially cast for Adventure All-Stars, which is a TV show. Each episode, 12 people go onto the show. You don't know where you're going until last minute. And even then, you still don't know what you'll be doing. So you could be going anywhere in the world. A team not long got back from Vanuatu, and they spent 6 days in Vanuatu doing things, I believe, in the water, but I'm not 100% sure. But you could be doing anything from jumping out of planes, swimming with sharks, rock climbing, motorbikes, fast cars. It could be anything. A dream of a lifetime, really. But in the process, I'm raising money for leukemia, support Queensland. So all money that I raise will go to that. So I'm currently getting ready for a 12-hour running event, which I'll be raising money for leukemia in that.
Wonderful. Well, the Adventure All-Stars sounds like almost like Survivor, that you're going to go somewhere that is off the grid and that you're going to do very, very physical stuff. Is that you? Are you good at like rock climbing, rope climbing, motorbiking, all that stuff?
Well, I haven't done so much motorbiking, but I love doing things that are crazy, ridiculous like that. I'm kind of hoping we're jumping out of a plane because I've not done that yet, and I would love to do that. And I've also swum with sharks before, so like I'm all right to do that again, but I really want to be jumping out of a plane.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you are the busiest woman in show business, as I mentioned before. So you've got this TV show. When do you start filming that?
February.
In February. Okay, Adventure All-Stars starts in February. You've got your screenplays. You also have a podcast, I understand, as well, right?
Yeah, well, it's about to start, yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's about inspiring women, by inspirational women. I've gone into industries where it's been more male dominant, particularly in construction. And with my upbringing, it hasn't exactly been the easiest. So I want like women in particular to know they're not alone, and have guest speakers on that have gone through different paths and different generations, and show how it's been different and how they've overcome things. And yeah, just inspire women. You know, if you set your mind to something, you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've set your mind to quite a few things and you are doing it. So congratulations on all of your success to date. I know more is coming. Natasha Goddard, also known as T.E. Goddard in the literary world, is the creative talent behind Rollercoaster Book 2, Jake Returns, Boris Adventures, Disneyland Paris, 3 wonderful books that will really connect with you, that will actually have you experience life in someone else's shoes. I think you'll find them fascinating. Plus, she has Adventure All-Stars coming up, which is an exciting venture, and movies, and the whole list goes on and on. Natasha, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.